Alright, then. I guess I got another little story that might be worth telling. Uh, and I guess the whole point of doing these, I'm just trying something out. I see all these people doing these, stories about, their times and the things they went through, when they were in prison and whatnot. So I figured, I've had my experiences being locked up, but most of that has been in, state psychiatric facilities, you know, you know, psychiatric forensic wards. Um, and it's not like forensic like CSI. It's like forensic like they really dig in deep to see what the hell's wrong with your brain and what's wrong with your mind and why you're doing what you do. And in them kind of wards, that's where they, you think, oh, just because, if I get declared insane in jail, it's all good to go. I'm going home. No. If you get declared incompetent and found insane, the time you would have got in prison, instead of doing your time at prison, you're doing your time in a state psychiatric facility with all the craziest of the crazies, people that, straight up just kill people for no reason because a voice in their head told them to. Yeah, that's where they go. The real sickos, that too crazy for prison. How about that? But on the other side, if you do get sentenced but are unfit to stand trial and you go to one of these psychiatric facilities, now if you play the game right, say you get sentenced to 20 years, if after 2 or 3 years you ain't crazy, the medication's working for you, and you go in front of a medical board and they do all the things they need to do, dot all their I's, cross their T's, they talk to the probation people, and you could be out on the streets after 2 or 3 years on a 20-year sentence. Whereas if you were sentenced and you were fit to stand trial and you went to prison, you can do that whole 20 years, or whatever percent that state guideline is, until you can get paroled out. And I'm going to tell you what, it'll be a lot longer than 2 or 3 years. Anyway, I guess this one story, I call them story, but it really happened, I'm just saying story. Took place in 2013. Now, I definitely am not going to go through everything that happened in 2013 because there just ain't enough. That would just take hours of time. But this one little scenario, snippet, blurb of, my crazy bipolarness. It's 2013. I'm gonna say it's July. It's July 2013, and I left South Carolina. Not really having. I mean, I had a destination. My destination was Montana for my own, personal reasons at this time. I'll delve into that later. But I didn't just leave South Carolina and take the direct route from MapQuest or GPS to Montana. I just left the house, and whenever that little digital compass thing in your rearview mirror says, I just took it on a northwesterly pattern. And that didn't mean I went northwest the whole time. So I just going up through North Carolina, going through Tennessee, and I'm not gonna dig into why I was in a rental car, but my truck, I had an issue and I had to get put in a shop in Tennessee, so I was driving a rental truck, and I was driving it in true rental car fashion, coupled with being whacked out of my mind on a full-fledged bipolar manic high. And I was just so crazy along this whole trip. Whenever I'd run out of gas, I'd call the damn insurance company because they had roadside service. Whenever I run out of gas, I would just like unhook the spark plug wire so they couldn't get it to crank. So the tow truck would come and it would take me to the next town. I must have did that at least 8 or 9 times. Every time I run out of gas, I call the tow truck until they take me to the next town. And then I'd figure it out. Get a Western Union from, someone, family member or whatever. Anyways, I didn't like this one rental truck, so I unhooked a bunch of stuff so where it would not crank. So when the tow truck picked me up, took me to the new Enterprise, a different Enterprise rental car place. Maybe I shouldn't have said that business, but whatever. I got a much nicer rental vehicle for my troubles of being given a dysfunctional truck. So it's like this brand new 2013 Dodge 4-wheel drive leather, just decked out. And I ran the dog piss out of this truck. I'm just driving like a straight up madman. So I got that Dodge in Tennessee, but I'm gonna fast forward to now I'm in Nebraska. I don't know where I'm going, and it's just trial and error because I'm just seeing if I have some kind of sense of direction. Sometimes I did not. Like for instance, going on this long, long, long road, no street lights, way in the middle of nowhere road. Just coming up into Nebraska, and I must have been on this road for about 30 minutes. Which obviously I don't live around there, so I don't realize that there's a bridge that is out, and not like no little rinky-dink bridge. It's like a huge bridge going over this gorge, and I pull up. It's dark. All I see is a couple of orange flashing lights. There's like construction barrels and track hoes and bulldozers and dump trucks, and I was a little unpleased, and I was actually I looked in the damn construction equipment, seeing if they had keys in them, because if they had keys in them, I was going to start moving shit out of the way so I can drive my truck over that bridge. Anyways, I guess I forgot to mention I had a 12 gauge shotgun that I brought with me from South Carolina, which I was legally not allowed to have, and I did not legally attain. Didn't steal it, but I did not legally attain it. Anywho, so if I wasn't going to make it across that bridge, I was going to take out a little frustration and have a little bit of fun. So like a pure dumbass, these shells, they're hollow point slugs, shotgun shells, but hollow point slugs. So I kick open the door to the porta potty and say, freeze, don't move, and just start blowing the damn porta potty away just for kicks. I open this one dump truck and I say, I'm coming to open the door. Show me your hands. I open the door, and I just start blasting the dashboard out of this damn construction truck. I'm sure the foreman was very happy. I see this big drum, which I thought was fuel. Turned out it was just paint. I guess luckily it was, because I shot at it hoping it would explode, but it didn't. Paint just exploded out of it. So anyways, I finally had enough fun. Of course, before I left, I had to open the main valve on this big water tanker truck so it could flood the whole area, amongst the, construction equipment. Nice guy, right? But luckily, I left when I did, because about 2 minutes after I left that site, I saw a big old service truck that had the same signage on his door that was on all those construction equipment. So maybe he was just randomly checking, or they had some kind of motion security out there. Whatever. I got out of there just in time. So at this point, I took a damn traffic cone, this big ass 5-foot tall traffic cone, put it in the back of my truck, took a couple of 2x4s, let it hang out to bed. Like, yeah, if I look like a regular working guy, ain't no one gonna mess with me. Because at this point, I'm about 2 or 3 days past when I should have turned this truck in to the rental place. Needless to say, their calls went unanswered when they called. So I'm just, like I said, aimlessly driving. I believe at this point I'm finally in the state of Nebraska. And in the broad daylight, I'm just driving around, and I come across this construction zone. You see like those orange barricades and construction barrels along the highway, and just for kicks, I just start ramming and running through all these damn construction barrels, laughing my ass off, middle of the fucking daylight. Once I leave that spot, I guess I thought it was a good idea to just. I was like, I couldn't figure out how to get back on the main highway, so I was like, damn, if I can go straight through this cornfield, I can get on the main highway. So here I am driving this damn rental truck going 55, 60 miles an hour through this cornfield, full of, 6 foot, 7 foot, ready to be harvested corn, whatever. Ears of corn flying everywhere like a smart ass. I turn on the windshield wipers, hee hee. And once I get out of the thick of the corn, and I can see the highway, I realize, well, shit, there's a damn, typical farm-style barbed wire fence separating the highway from the cornfield. So I turn around and I plow through the corn again, and I said, you know what? I've come too far. I went ahead and I just turned around, and I just, maybe going 30, 40, I plowed right through that barbed wire fence, right onto the damn highway. Cars going on the highway, they're probably like, what in the hell we got here? You don't see that every day. Some Dukes of Hazzard shit. So anyway, I drive further and further in Nebraska, not knowing where the hell I am, not really caring it either. Especially and obviously at this point, if I'm sleeping like 20, 30 minutes at a time, and I'm already way past the threshold of being taken by the mania from bipolar. To anyone that knows anything about mania and bipolar, now that's a hell of a drug. So I come up, because Nebraska, there's plenty of damn corn, right? So I come up along this desolate, middle of nowhere stretch where it's like nothing but cornfields and little buildings every couple of football fields. They're just there to fuel up the farm equipment, and there's water and everything. So at this point I'm desolate. I ain't got I scrounge up the last bit of change I could find out in a cup holder, and I barely have enough to get a can of damn soda. So I get a damn soda, and I leave the one little store that was like a little general country store, and I keep going and going down this one little pavement road by these cornfields, and I come up to this bridge, and so the pavement leads to the bridge, but once you cross the bridge, it turns to dirt. And that just basically goes nowhere. It goes nowhere. It's nothing but farmland and, the typical big old farmhouses that for the families that own that farmland. That's all that's out. There's no exit from where I just went, which I did not know because I was not from Nebraska. But anyways, I come back over the bridge and I pull down beside it, down by the water, just to look at the water. And some guy swimming down there, and he swims for about 2 minutes, so he figures out something's off about this guy, so he leaves. And meanwhile, when I walk back to my truck, I realized I ran over something and I had a flat friggin' tire. So, but while I was, messing around by that riverbank, I noticed across the river there was a couple of 4-wheel drive Jeeps, maybe 6 or 7 people having a good old time drinking, hooping and hollering, whatever. I'm minding my business, they minding theirs. So while I'm changing the tire, this dude and his old lady, they take it upon themselves to come across that bridge to, I guess, see what's up with me, what's my deal. And apparently, I guess the guy that was swimming on my side of the river, he went on the other side of the river, went to go swimming, and he was running his mouth about, man, there's something wrong with that guy, he's crazy, blah, 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 Meanwhile, I was just, whatever I said to the guy, I couldn't have been nothing more than, hey, how's it going? What's up, man? I'm not from here, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, when this other dude and his old lady come over in his nice brand new Jeep, farm money, I guess. They was drunk, a little tied up, and his old lady was talking some pretty heavy shit, saying, who are you? What are you doing? You chased that man off. He's trying to just swim, and what are you doing over here? And she's saying all this shit like, you need to get out of here. This is my river. This is my river. You need to get the fuck get away from my river. I was like, oh, this is your river? Damn, I didn't see your name on it. Is that your bridge too? Some shit like that. And meanwhile, dude, now since I was giving back what his old lady was giving me, he started running his mouth, and I was like, man, fuck you, man. I said, you see me here? I'm changing my fucking tire. As soon as I change this tire, the sooner I'm gonna get the fuck out of here, and I'll be away from your river, okay? So they left, right? Meanwhile, I'm just stewing. And to top it off, once I get the flat tire off and put the spare on, the fucking spare has no air in it. I tighten the lug nuts up, I drop the jack down, bzzz, tire goes all the way to the ground, it's flat. Fucking A. At this point, I'm stewing. And remember, I got that fucking shotgun in the damn truck, right? So at this point, I'm not thinking clearly. I'm pissed off. I'm mad at what they said. I'm mad about this, changing a flat tire only to put on a flat spare tire. Middle of nowhere, got no money, got no people around. So I said, you know what? If they come back over here and mess with me because I ain't left yet, because I can't, because I got a flat, if those people come back and give me shit, it ain't gonna be good. I had mentally prepared myself. If I was just gonna ask no questions. I was just gonna fucking blow them both away. Take his fucking Jeep. Just that's the kind of shit that goes on when you get real beyond the fucking mania and you just ain't thinking clearly at all, and just the deep recesses of shit you think you'd never do just come out. So so it gets dark, and luckily they did not come back and mess with me. But it's dark now, so I say fuck it, man. I realized on the other side of that. See, I don't know that once it turns into dirt on the other side of the bridge, dirt roads, I don't know that it's nothing but farmland and a couple of farmhouses. There's no exit, unless you drive however many miles you can go to reach civilization again. But it's all private land. I'm not saying the road's private, but it's just there's no out, there's no exit from the way I was going over that bridge. But I figure since maybe if this road stays dirt long enough, I can just creep on this tire till I can find a gas station, maybe have some free air. So I get across the bridge and I stop for a second because I realize that ain't really going to work either, because the more you drive on that tire, it's just going to make it worse. And then I'm going to need a whole new tire that I can't afford. So I see some lights coming, and I see it's them round circular headlights, so I assume it's that dickhead or the guy who was acting like one earlier coming up in his Jeep. Because it's his river, it's his river, So it's one of them 4-door extended cab trucks, so I got the shotgun on the passenger side in the back seat. I guess I had a couple extra shells sitting in my shirt pocket. I had like a long sleeve on. I was getting a little cold. And he rolls up, and I had that shotgun staged because when he pulls up, he's looking at the passenger side of the vehicle, and that's where I got that shotgun on the passenger side in the back seat. And I got the window halfway rolled down, and I got the stop kind of right there, so I could just reach in and whip it around if need be. Because hell, he might have been packing too. I don't know. Probably was. Um, anyways, dude's demeanor was totally different when he came back. So at that point, it kind of de-escalated my mind. So I'm like, not on this fucking murderous rage from earlier. He's actually helpful. We get down. We jack the tire up because he says he had an air compressor back at his house because he lives on. He has his family farmhouse is however miles away. And they got a compressor. So he helps me take the tire off, and we go back. We go back to his house, and lo and behold, something's wrong with the fucking air compressor, so that doesn't work. So he takes me back to the rental truck. We're standing out there, and I put the wheel back on the tire, just in case he might figure out someone could bring a portable tank or whatever. And as I'm bending down to help him with the tire, that hollow point shotgun shell falls out of my pocket, and he sees it. And to play it off so he wouldn't be uneasy or nothing, I just say, "Oh shit! Oh, don't sweat that, man. That's for me, man. That shell's for me, man. I'm having a rough time, I actually lost a friend of mine. They took their own life, so I don't know." And I said, man, I just played it off to him like, "Hey, man, that shell's for me." But I guess he acted like he bought what I was saying, but he didn't stay around too much longer, that's for sure. And when he left, he said, "Well, I'll be back in a little while, man. We'll see if we can get you straightened out." After waiting about 5 minutes, I was like, man, fuck this. He ain't coming back. He's calling the law. And he sure damn did. But before the law came up, I turned around, drove back over the bridge, back on the pavement. Like I said, that flat tire was on the rear passenger side. So I just kept it going low and slow and kept that tire in the grass till I get back to that country store from earlier. But as I'm driving slow, leaving out from that river area, I see about 5 or 6 cop cars hauling ass, coming from the other direction. They pass by me and they go all the way down, I guess, to the other side of that bridge where that guy called and said there was a suicidal person. So they're racing to that damn scene, and I guess they don't see me there, and they put 2 and 2 together. So about 5 or 6 minutes after they done passed me, I see them coming up the rear in the rear view. And at this point, I'm going like 5, 6, 7 miles an hour, so that tire won't shred in the grass. And once I see the police coming up behind me like that, I just start hauling ass, going as fast as I can. I'm probably going like 65, 70, half the truck on the road, half the truck in the dirt. So I wouldn't, completely ruin that tire. But at that point, I realized the tire's done, so I just had the whole truck on the road. I'm shooting sparks off the damn radials and the damn rim, and I'm just going and going and going. And then finally, I just realized, where the hell am I going? There's nothing on this road. There's nowhere to hide. And what the hell did I really do wrong anyways? So I stop, and they all get out. The lawman gets out. and I roll the window down, turn the truck off, and I casually like, "What seems to be the problem, officer?" And he's just floored. He don't know what the fuck he's walking up to, right? He's like, "Man, we got a call from a concerned citizen that there was a suicidal person in this area, and this vehicle matches the description. You match everything that this person called said." And then he was like, "Do you have any weapons in this vehicle?" And I said, "Well, yes, sir, I do. I have a 12 gauge Mossberg pump shotgun in the back seat." And he looks back there and he sees my bag of medicine that I was not taking at this time. He sees my medicine, and he's like, "Oh, we got a mentally ill person with a weapon here. We got a mentally ill person with a weapon here." And you get the whole hands. Put your hands on the thing, and hands on the wheel the whole time. But the hands, and he starts going through the whole rigmarole of, get me out of the truck, don't put me on the ground, looking for the shotgun, and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, they, next thing you know, I'm talking all kind of crazy shit. And I guess they don't deal with too much crazy folks from South Carolina, because I remember, you know, he heard him getting on the radio saying some kind of code, asking for permission to come in heavy or come in hot. I mean, I guess so he could haul ass. Because this dude was flooring it, going through the gears, going 120 miles an hour on this highway. Of course, it's late at night. There's nobody on the highway, but he's hauling ass. And I'm laying down in the seat all handcuffed. So, I guess I gave him a little bit of trouble because they didn't have me buckled in the seat. So every turn they'd go, I'd have to brace and put my feet on the door and like brace my shoulders on the other door so I wouldn't like just roll around. And they finally got me to the damn hospital. So here I am, a dude from South Carolina. All of a sudden now I'm in a damn psychiatric ward of a hospital in friggin' Nebraska. So I guess that's about as much as I can, explain to that story. That's just one of several. So I don't know, maybe you found it entertaining, maybe you didn't. Anyways, I'm just trying to put, I don't know, a little bit of awareness, what goes on with mentally ill people, their mind thinking, their frame of mind, what have you, the crazy decisions that people without mental illness just would not make. But people with mental illness, they don't make these decisions on purpose. It just happens like that, especially if you're not sleeping right. Sleep is the key. You take away sleep and the fact that you're not on any kind of medication, or you just all of a sudden went straight cold turkey. It's one thing if you just wean yourself off for, it could be months and months, like 6 months to safely wean something off, because when you go cold turkey like that, it just immediately disrupts your whatever imbalance you got. It actually just makes things so much worse to go cold turkey off medication. It just throws your brain into some kind of weird hyperdrive. Now, if you were to stay locked up in your house and you went cold turkey, you didn't go nowhere, didn't do anything, didn't have access to a vehicle, you might be alright, you might break it. But if you leave any kind of comfort zone and you ain't sleeping right and you're going straight cold turkey off medication that was keeping you level, there's going to be a problem. And that problem just might be you wind up in a psychiatric hospital in Nebraska. So that's it. That's just another little tale from your neighborhood crazy guy. Stay crazy.